أبي رقية تميم بن أوس الداري رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: الدين النصيحة. قلنا: لمن؟ قال: لله ولكتابه ولرسوله ولأئمة المسلمين وعامتهم. رواه مسلم.
Know what he then says regarding these ahadith. وأما رواية وإذا أمن فأمنوا فمعناها إذا أراد التأمين، وقد قدمنا بيان هذا قريبا في حديث أبي موسى في باب التشهد. ويسن للإمام والمنفرد الجهر بالتأمين، وكذلك للمأموم على المذهب الصحيح. هذا تفصيل مذهبنا، وقد اجتمعت الأمة على أن المنفرد يؤمن، وكذلك الإمام والمأموم في الصلاة السرية، وكذلك قال الجمهور في الجهرية. وقال مالك رحمه الله تعالى وفي رواية: لا يؤمن الإمام في الجهرية. وقال أبو حنيفة رضي الله عنه والكوفيون ومالك في رواية: لا يجهر بالتأمين. وقال الأكثرون يجهر. He says, as far as the hadith that says وَإِذَا أَمَّنَا فَأَمِّنُوا, when the Imam says Ameen and you say Ameen, then that hadith proves that the Ameen of the person behind the Imam will come when? After. He says what's meant by this narration is إِذَا أَرَادَ, when he makes it. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل الخلاء قال اللهم إني أعوذ بك من يعني إذا أراد أن يدخل. They say that إذا أمن, when the Imam makes ta'meen, when the Imam intends to make the ta'meen. No contradiction between the hadiths. So he's saying that the correct way is to say Ameen simultaneously with the what? With the Imam, and not before the Imam nor what? After. So the Imam says غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. I didn't say it yet. See? I didn't say it yet. Everybody understand this? As soon as I say what, then you jump right on it. Everybody understand this? Oh, see how quick it goes out the window. طيب. Or we say what? غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. And then you say what? Ameen, and I say it. Or I say Ameen, and then you what? No, he says what? Hand in hand. Hand in hand. طيب. He then says, also it shows us is that the Imam and the Munfarid, he says وَيُسَنُّ لِلْإِمَامِ وَالْمُنْفَرِدِ الْجَهْرُ بِالتَّأْمِينِ. He says he should say it out loud. It should be said what? Out loud. And also for the one who's praying behind the Imam, all three. He says that's the madhab of Imam Shafi'i. All three of them. The Imam, one behind the Imam, and the one who's praying out loud, praying by himself, they should say, I mean what? Aloud. Not silent. Nor refrain from saying it. Everybody clear on this? Two different issues. The first is to say it, but say it silently. The second is what? Not to say it at all. And the third is to say it and say it aloud. Everybody clear on this or not? An-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he says this ijma, no difference of opinion, that the one who's praying by himself should make the ta'meen. He should say it. All of the ulama agree that the one who's praying what? By himself. They don't agree on the Imam, nor do they agree behind the one behind the Imam. But the one who's praying himself says no difference of opinion regarding that. He then says, وَكَذَلِكَ الْإِمَامُ وَالْمَأْمُومُ فِي الصَّلَاةِ السِّرِّيَّةِ. And they also agree on another point, which is that the Imam and the one praying behind the Imam should say it if the Salah is silent. If the Salah is what? Silent. Now we're doing what now? We're branching off the asl. He says if the prayer is silent, then it should be what? Said. There's ijma on that. He says, but most of the ulama, not all of them, they say that when it's a salah that's jahriyah, when it's allowed, audible, fajr, al-eid, jumu'ah, then it should also be what? Say Ameen loudly. All of the ulama? No. He says most of the ulama. And Imam Malik and Abu Hanifa and others, they have different views regarding that. They have different what? They have different views regarding that. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ makes no difference here. إِذَا أَمَّن. When the Imam says what? وَإِذَا قَالَ, there's no tafsir. He didn't say sirriya, jahriya. So the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is simple and clear and unrestricted. And that when the Imam says Ameen, in other words, you what? You hear it. That's common sense. The Imam is not going to say غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِينَ, and you're going to hear it in a what? Silent prayer. except for occasionally. وَيُسْمِعُنَ الْآيَةِ إيش؟ أحيانا. وَيُسْمِعُنَ الْآيَةِ أحيانا. He says occasionally the Prophet would allow us to hear a what? An ayah. Says in the other hadith. But the asl is that Salat al-Dhuhr, Salat al-Asr is going to be recited what? Silently. So how are you going to hear the Imam saying what al-Dhalleen? Except in a what? Loud prayer. So that's the correct view. Is that it should be said by all three in the prayer that's made what? Aloud. Why did Imam Malik say this? Why did Abu Hanifa say that? Allahu Alam. And then we don't get into that. That's not our point. Everybody understand this? And it's a huge difference between studying fiqh 1,000 years later and their time. We see things from a distance. Why are the people doing it? I don't know. It's like you on the sideline of a game. You're a coach or a coordinator. Why did he just do that or drop? You're not on the field. But my job is to do what? It's to observe the game from a what? From a distance. And to judge accordingly. And the coach on the sideline is not like the offensive coordinator in the what? In the box. Who sees with the binoculars everything. And he has the blimp and the cameras printing out everything. Everybody understand this? And he's only responsible for what he what? Sees. Everybody, he's only responsible for what? He sees. Everybody clear this or not? So you're saying, Abu more than Abu Hanifa? I'm not saying any of these things. But I'm saying I have the dalil clear, simple, plain in front of my face. And that's what I'm going to what? That's what I'm going to go with. It's very important for us to understand this. And the same applies to hadith as well. You're studying something that's been way finished. 1,000, 12, 1,300 years. You're coming across investigating it. You have to take what's in front of you. And not to worry about why the next man didn't adopt this view or adopt what? That view. This is a very important etiquette of fiqh now. Everybody understand this? You see these things from a distance. You're responsible for whose eyes? Yours. Khairan, inshallah.